amazing. And you've got that, plus you've got the fact that like you're saving money doing it. So you're not just like throwing money out the window, just deciding you're going to pay an engineer $500,000 because you feel like it. So, I mean, and it gives HR a lot more confidence to go to the leadership and say, we have to do this instead of dragging someone like me into the meeting. And I have to tell an ELT member, so it's probably not a great idea if you guys want to do that because we're going to get sued. And let me tell you how much it's going to cost.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is I think everybody knows they can get sued. But lately I've observed people that are like, we're not going to get sued. It doesn't matter. Or I don't need to post those ranges. So like when it comes to pay transparency, like I have a lot of questions from like the employee perspective on like the rights that employees actually have. But when companies are trying to navigate these laws, do you have any advice for them when it comes to like that adherence? Because I see so many companies that just don't seem to care. And it's kind of sad.
It is sad. I mean, all the laws so far, so Colorado, California, Washington, New York State, and Hawaii all have enforcement mechanisms on them. The problem is that you have to have somebody who has what we call in the legal world standing to bring a claim. So like a candidate sees a job posting, sees that there isn't a range, can then bring a complaint forward. And it'll take time. It takes money. It's a pain for all parties involved. But what we're seeing right now, I mean, so there's penalties associated. Everyone can there's lawsuits, like the laws allow people to bring private claims in a court of law also. So it can be very expensive. A lot of states say like, you know, your first violation, we're going to send you a warning letter. If you don't fix it, it's going to be $1,000 per violation. And $1,000 per violation could potentially be per person per posting. So if you have one posting up for like a week, and 1,000 people have seen that posting. I went to law school, so I didn't have to do math. So 1,000 times 1,000, whatever that is.
Not 2,000.
No, I think it's like 100,000.
I was going to say, is it 100,000? I'm literally like, what is wrong? It's the end of the day on a Monday. So whoever's listening to this and you think we don't know how to do math,
so sorry.
I'm just going to be honest. It's the end of the day on a Monday after Super Bowl weekend. Like, please, I'm so sorry.
Yes. No, it's totally fine. We're gonna go with that just for the pure.
We're gonna get that.
This thing.
Just for math being easy. Yeah,
for math being easy. So if somebody doesn't post a range, it's gonna be really expensive, and then you're gonna have big influencers blast you on social media. So the court of public opinion to me is like a much worse situation than getting a lawsuit filed against you. There were some pretty well-known companies when California and Washington's law got enacted at the beginning of last year, so in early 2023, that decided they were going to be cute and post ranges for
that were absurd.
$90,000 to $900,000 was a range I saw. And I looked at it and I said, that is, because the law says you have to post either a good faith range or a range in which you reasonably believe you're going to pay for a role. Like $1 million spread is not a reasonable range. I will put my full salary on that. But it comes to find out the companies, the way that they validated that range, they said, this was our total compensation range, which is not what the law says. Right. Because if you like put equity in there, if you put other benefits, especially like if you're a much higher level, like maybe that could be the width of the range, but that's not the intention of the lawsuit of the law. But then we see Washington State has 31 companies that have had class actions filed against them because some of these companies weren't posting ranges. So, I mean, it's happening. And with social media being as quick, you can find out so much information so quickly on social media that you probably will have a lawsuit filed against you. But like if you see a Gen Z influencer, TikToker finding out about how crappy you're being to your candidates, it's going to get blown up and it's going to be really hard for you to find people to come work for you.
Yeah. I remember that job range from 90 to 900. I was like, I'll take the 900. Thank you. Bye. It's like literally how my brain works. I was like, I'll take that 900. See ya. Thank you for that job. No, it's the court of public opinion is very interesting because people will go to LinkedIn, they'll go to Twitter, and they'll make it very clear that you've done something bad. And like, I feel like almost everybody is for pay transparency now. I never see anyone in the comments that's like, leave them alone. They couldn't figure out what the range was. Everybody's like, why are you all trying to lie to us? So I do think it's very important that companies care about it less from a sense of like, I'm going to get sued, and more of a sense of like, I want to attract amazing top talent, and I'm not going to do that by like hiding the pay range.
And I think too, like the timing is interesting because like in 2022, there was the Great Resignation. And I think companies were really freaked out because like people were jumping shit, moving to higher paying jobs. Now, unfortunately, we've had how many rounds of layoffs, especially in tech, where a lot of
so many this year.
It's so sad. It's horrible.
Yeah.
But like now candidates don't have the upper hand anymore. So unfortunately, like I hear from people who are operating in states without pay transparency laws. They're the older generations. I will make that very clear. It's not younger generations, but they always ask me, why do I need to comply? There's no reason for me to comply. And a lot of them are small businesses too, because the small businesses are saying we don't have the bandwidth, right? Like maybe they only have one person who's the CFO and they do all HR and they also have to do compensation. And they're like, I don't have the time to figure out what a range looks like. But at the same time, it's like now it's going to be necessary. Like you want to keep your folks, you want to attract more people who are going to be really great and really help your company grow. Like you're going to have to do that work.